Welcome, everybody, to a new podcast that we got going on called the KnoItAllz podcast. First and foremost, first order of business, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Of course, it's Mother's Day weekend, and where would we be without all the mothers, man? Definitely want to introduce everybody that we got on the KnoItAllz podcast. You have myself, Mod, and of course, we got Big G. What's up, Big G?
What's up? What's up to the KnoItAllz crew? What's happening?
Yeah, man. And then also we got Big Tate. Tate, what's popping, man? What's popping?
What's up, Ma? What's up, Big G? Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. It's a beautiful Sunday, so let's talk some ball whenever y'all ready. Yeah, man. So look, this show is all about, man, football, period, point blank. What y'all think it was. You got three know-it-alls when it comes to sports and football, and we're going to talk it. And we may even talk a little basketball. It's just, we're going to talk sports in general. But this time in this podcast, man, we definitely want to explore the world of the NFL right now, man. I'm going to tell you, there's some things that, has been going on. And the biggest thing in the NFL world at this time is the draft. And when we think about the draft, man, and all of the things that was around the draft, you got to think about who had the best draft of the 2021 NFL draft, man. And when you're talking about who had the best draft, who comes to mind? And I'll start with you, Tate. Who comes to mind when we talk about who had the best draft in the NFL this year? Man, I hate to admit it because you see I'm repping my Pittsburgh Steelers. But the Cleveland Browns, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cleveland Browns had the best draft.
Expound on that, man. Why do you think that they helped themselves and talking and kind of include free agency in that too? So talk to me. What you think about that?
Well, man, if we just talking draft picks, they probably took the third best corner in the draft. You got J.C. Horn and Surtain. They went early, but then the Browns took Greg Newsome out of Northwestern, the number 26 pick. So, he kind of solidified their secondary. And then if that wasn't enough with their second round pick, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, however you say his name.
The Joker is what they call it.
J.O.K. They got him. They traded up in the second round to pick 52 and picked him up, and he's a top 15 talent.
Yeah.
He's kind of just like a chess piece on the football field. He's doing it all. They can put him in the slot, they can put him an outside linebacker, they can put him in the middle. I mean, dude is a monster. I wanted him. I wouldn't have been mad if the Steelers took him at 24. And then you come around the third round, they got the young cat from Auburn, Anthony Schwartz.
Yeah.
4.2640. Blazer.
Yeah.
He gonna come in there with Odell and Jarvis and the tight ends. He gonna take the top off.
Yeah.
And they already got Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt with a top 5 offensive line. Hey, if they get any type of good play from Baker Mayfield, the Browns gonna be a problem for everybody.
And see, that's where it is right there, Tate. That's what I'm talking about. I feel like I can see this because of the simple fact that if you add what they did in free agency with this draft, man, it all comes down to Baker, man. If Baker can make the throws, this is a dangerous offense, man. You got the top running backs, and then plus you got some help at slot. You get Odell back, definitely. And then you brought in what's my man's name to play defensive end? Clowney. Clowney's over there. Jadeveon Clowney. And you already have the superhuman Myles Garrett over there. I mean, gosh.
And they brought in the cat, what's his name? Joe Johnson from the Rams. Safety.
Oh, wow.
Greedy Williams was hurt last year. Grant Delpit was their second round pick last year was hurt. He coming back. They picked up nice, solid backup depth in the O-line. They got the cat Hudson from University of Cincinnati. So I mean, then in the fourth round they picked up Tommy Toga from O State, the defensive tackle. He had like a second round grade too.
Yeah,
man.
He had 48 reps on the bench. 48 reps on the bench.
225, 48 times?
Yeah, 48 times.
Yeah, that's a strong boy, man. That's a strong boy. But so like I'm saying, they really didn't have a position of need that they had to draft. So they just drafted talent. And it fills their roster with just so much more talent, man. They're gonna be a tough out, period.
Agreed. I like that pick, Tate. I like that pick. Like I said, I like it because of the pieces that they picked up already. And it comes down to Baker Mayfield. What about you, G? What you think about the Cleveland Browns, man? What you think about them?
Man, as far as my draft grades, the Cleveland Browns had the #1 draft. That's just me. And that hurts to say it because they're in my division. But y'all going to be shocked at who I had with the #2 grade on the draft. Another team in my division that I can't stand worse than the Browns, the Baltimore Ravens. I gave them the #2 overall draft grade, man. Baltimore has put themselves in the position to where they can realistically represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. They filled every plug, every hole that they had. Maybe even more than, like Tate said, the Browns drafted for talent. Baltimore drafted for need, and when I'm telling you they got what they needed, they got what they needed plus some. Free agency was sort of different for them because they lost some players that we know as long-term Baltimore Ravens. But anybody that knows anything about that organization, they picked players that fit their scheme and fit their mode, right? So the first player off the draft for me was Rashad Bateman, man. I had Rashad Bateman in my draft stock, the #3 overall wide receiver. When I set my big board, I had Rashad Bateman #3 overall.
Number three?
Number three. His hands, his height, his speed, his yards after catch. Rashad Bateman, man. See, people are always like those glory positions and all whatever else. You got to remember, Minnesota is one of those lower tier Big Ten teams. But when Rashad Bateman would play against the Ohio States, the Penn States, the Michigans, those top tier, the Wisconsins, go look at his numbers. Rashad Bateman blew people out the frame, let alone what he would do in bowl games. So, he really, 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 really impressed me. The second guy that to me was the most wild card draft pick in the draft, but he's a perfect Baltimore Raven, was Jason Owuah from Penn State, defensive end, right? This kid is not going to play with his hand in the ground. He's a stand-up 3-4 outside linebacker. And oh, by the way, for y'all that didn't know, he weighed 252 pounds and ran a 4.34 40-yard dash. So you already know it's 1001, 1002 time to kill the quarterback. That's what Baltimore is known for. They built their blueprint like my beloved Pittsburgh Steelers. So, their edge rushing is what they're about, disguise and coverage, right? They picked a great third-round pick with Ben Cleveland, the offensive guard from Georgia. Man, this kid is nasty. Go back and watch the film and look at the inside trap runs that Georgia had and watch their running backs pick up 15, 20 yards and just watch this kid after. Like when he blocks through. I saw a highlight play when Georgia was playing against Alabama. He drove a guy all the way to the sideline. So you got to have that nasty mentality to play for Baltimore, right? Great picks with #4. When Stevens, the cornerback out of SMU, who I think possibly could be a day one starter, but where they really did some impressive stuff was their 5th and 6th picks, man. Tyler Wallace out of Oklahoma. Y'all listen, I lived in Big 12 country
Oklahoma State.
Time. Yeah,
Oklahoma State.
Hey, listen, I saw this kid play, man. I lived down there in Big 12 country. He is the real deal. You're talking about an inside slot receiver that is super fast, that's going to help take pressure off of Sammy Watkins, take pressure off of Hollywood Brown, take pressure off of Rashad Bateman. He's unbelievable, right?
And
but
you know what?
Yeah.
And you know what, G? That when you bring that up, man, and seeing him in the slot, I think it's really going to be a confidence boost for Lamar because of the simple fact that you already have a good running back. You already have a good solid running game in J.K. Dobbins. Definitely you got some help out there on the wide receiver side, but this is a guy who literally can get uncovered. And if linebackers and slot DBs in the schemes that they're playing, like in nickel defenses, they can't match up with this guy. I mean, when he's healthy, this is one thing I'll say about this kid. When he's healthy, he's uncheckable. He's just unguardable. He's a guy who I think slid because of injury. You know what I mean? He's a guy that I think slid because of injury.
Yeah, he definitely. I had a late second, early third round grade on him, you know, but like I saw games where he had 14, 15 catches for 170, 180 yards. And I don't care what level you play, because people say, oh, well, the Big 12 is wide open. Listen, man, you get 16, 17 catches in a game, you're playing some real football. And then the last two picks they had, man, I mean, you get Shaun Wade in the 5th round. I mean, come on, man.
So let me ask you this. Let's stop right there. Let me ask you this. Tate, you are an old State fan. Know you watched all the games, man. Why did Shaun Wade fall so low? Is it because he couldn't cook?
If Shaun Wade had came out in 2019, he'd have been a first-round pick. He played in the slot, the nickel corner. That's his position, and I think that's where he's going to thrive in the NFL. But then after 2019, Okudah and Arnett both left. Both were outside corners. So Wade had to move to the outside, and he's just not a outside the boundaries corner. He's inside. He's big. He's physical. He can jam the receiver at the line of scrimmage in the slot and kind of play that way. And that's what he thrives at. They put him out on that island. Yeah, he needed some help. So that's why his stock really dropped, though. But
he's a zone coverage back. He's a zone coverage kind of back, and he's not a boundary guy.
No, he's not a boundary guy. You match him up in the slot, let him be physical, let him blitz, let him attack the run. That's his game. And if Baltimore, that is a steal, I think, Big G. If Baltimore using them in the right way in the 5th round, I mean, I'm not sure. I know their cornerback room is strong. I don't know who they have in the slot. But he's definitely going to be a day one contributor, though.
Yeah, I look for them to start the kid that they took in the 4th round, that Stevens kid, to play left outside linebacker, and I look for Peters to play the right outside linebacker, and I look for Wade to sit right up on top of that.
They still got Marlon Humphreys, though. He ain't went nowhere.
Hey, so listen, we're 4 deep right now, you know.
And they still got Jimmy Smith too.
Yes, so they can match up against any 11 personnel in the NFL. Any team that goes four wide, they can match up. You know, so like I said, man, Baltimore. Even I love the kid Ben Mason, the fullback that they took from Michigan late, along with Dallas Hayes, man. Ben Mason can. Everybody knows Baltimore runs crazy sets. You bring Mason in, you can run a set with J.K. Dobbins, Mason, and Gus Edwards all in the backfield at the same time. You know, and he might surprise you and get a little inside draw, inside handoff, 10, 15 yards.
Hey, don't invite Ben Mason to your house because he's breaking dishes.
Yeah, for real. Straight rhino. He's as tall as he is wide. You know, let's just say that. You know, so like I said, I'm feeling Baltimore's thing, man, and Tate. I mean, like I said, I'm a diehard Steelers fan, but to have, and what we're saying so far, to have Cleveland and Baltimore as the 1 and 2 draft grades, oh my God.
Listen. So, you know, thinking about this draft, man, I think both of you guys are spot on. Honestly, I think both of you guys are spot on. I believe that you guys have made some great picks. And you know what? I love the fact that you guys are not trying to be homers. You know, I really appreciate the fact that you guys are not trying to be homers. But I'm going to be real with you. I'm going to go on and tell the truth. And, you know, you see what I'm all about. It's you know, it's about that star. But there were two teams to me that really their draft spoke well to me. I'm not going to go into Arizona's that deep, except I'm going to say that, look, Arizona got J.J. Watt in the offseason. Arizona got AJ Green in the offseason, and they turn right back around and they got a receiver that's totally going to help them in that slot. That's going to make, oh my gosh, it's going to make Kyler that much more explosive, and that offense way and Rondale Moore. Go ahead, Tate.
Man, you left out my boy James Conner, man. I just want to say that.
James Conner's trash. I just got to tell you that. I'm going to go on and put you. We didn't include him because he's trash. He's red toilet paper. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's really that bad. I mean, but listen, they still have a running back. They still have a running game over there. But I'm going to be honest with you. Rondale Moore is a gem for them. See, certain players in the draft, it's not about them being just the world breakers or game breakers. If they go to the right system, they become something totally different. And I think Rondale Moore went to the right system. But let me go ahead, and the team that I feel like helped themselves the most in this year's NFL draft is the Pittsburgh Steelers. I told my brother this. And I had to be honest. I'm going to tell you why. In the first round, they got Najee Harris. Pittsburgh has not had a running back of credible notice in a long time. Who have they? I mean, for real, like, they could have wheeled me out there running back, and I'd have did what these running backs done. You know what I'm saying? I got 2 yards, 1 yard. That's horrible. You know what I mean? And literally, you got a statue at quarterback in Roethlisberger. If you don't have a running game, he's gonna get pummeled in a defense that these guys are going against, like the Cleveland Browns, defense like Baltimore. You got defenses in y'all division that can play ball. You know,
it's 1001, 1002. The ball better be
done. I set your James Conner trash thing up real nice, didn't I?
You set it up. You set it up real nice. But Najee, to me, was the best running back in this draft. He may have been one of the best running backs to come out in a long time. This guy's the truth. And just like the one that we see down there at Tennessee that's running amok on the league right now, he split time. He split carries. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just like Derrick Henry, he split carries. This guy's coming into the league pretty fresh. The second piece of this whole thing is they got Baby Gronk. He got another thing to help the statue back there. You know, he can just dink and dunk. And Lord forbid that man. I mean, I don't say whatever you say about Roethlisberger. I don't really, I'm not really too much of a fan. That's Mr. Give It Here, and I'm not too much of a fan of Mr. Give It Here. But I will say this. If you give him the option of where he can turn around and hand it to somebody and then use play action, he's dangerous. And y'all got 2 receivers over there already that are game busters. You know, you got 2 game buster receivers out there on the side anyway. And now you add a tight end who can actually catch, who can actually block, and that adds to the run scheme in the run game, and then you got Kendrick Green from Illinois. A good guard, somebody who can come in and start. This guy's gonna push for time off the rip. Off the rip, he's gonna push for time. And then right behind him, y'all got Dan Moore from Texas A&M. See, these are kids that played in the SEC and that know how to play football. Right. You know what I'm saying? They blocked the A&Ms. And if you think about it, A&M was in that Alabama game for a while with Kellen Mond. They just got blew out at the very end. They got blew out. But you got a guard, you got a tackle to help Najee and to protect the statue over there, right? Then y'all turn back around and you already, if anybody watches the Pittsburgh Steelers, you already know that this defense is literally a top 10 defense in the NFL. Say what you want, they were hurt, they were decimated at the end of the year. If they hadn't lost a couple of people, this would have been a team that could have went further. I'm not going to say the Super Bowl, but I'm going to say you could have went further. The lack of a running game really hurt Big Ben, and it hurt the Steelers for a long time. And then, of course, you turn back around, you got a linebacker from A&M who's tough against the run. He's not that much of a good passer, but he's tough against the run. And then the defensive tackle, Loudermilk from Wisconsin, he was a plug. He was somebody who was going to be tough against the run.
Hey, he's Cam Hayward's replacement, man. A lot of people don't understand. I mean, I watched a lot of Wisconsin games. This kid's 6'7", 295 pounds, man. I mean, you know, that's a big man. And he's very strong against the run. Very strong against the run.
Yeah, agreed. And then, of course, Quincy Rochet, the linebacker from Miami. Hey, man, speed kills. You got to have speed. And he's going to be learning from some of the best over there. With, you know, you got Bud Dupree and all those guys. He's going to be learning from some of the best, right?
Bud gone, though.
Bud gone, though.
Bud left. You're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
Yeah,
he did leave. I'm sorry about that. He'll still be learning from some of the best over there, right? Yeah. And then the one steal, to me, the steal, and everybody can say what they want to say, Trey Norwood, Oklahoma. I hate Oklahoma. I hope all the bad things in life happen to Oklahoma and only Oklahoma. You see, I'm a Longhorn fan, so you know that, right? It is definitely 4:18 in the afternoon, and OU still sucks. So realistically, I watched this kid play defensive back, and he's a monster. He's a monster. He really has the knack to be able to play defensive back. He slipped a lot, but just as all these other kids, you're seeing kids in COVID year, you didn't really get an opportunity. I don't think the scouts got an opportunity to really go in and evaluate as hard as they would like to have. But I'm telling you, this is a top-rate kid. Now, this punter,
and that Norwood kid, hey, Ma, that Norwood kid, I went back and watched the game film against when they played, or Oklahoma played Alabama. And Norwood was giving them Alabama receivers fits. He should have had a pick six. He got a pick, and he got stopped like at the 3 against Bama. But Norwood's a baller.
I give Norwood credit for catching the ball when it come his way. But he run a 4.63 40. He 5'10", 190 pounds. I don't see him being an impact. Now you probably watch more of him than me because you in Big 12 country and you probably maybe know a little more. But just my take on it though, he might not make the roster.
Let me share something with you. Let me share something with you, Tate. A lot of times, there was a kid named Derek Strait. Derek Strait wasn't a good 40-time runner, but he got to the league. He played at Oklahoma. He got to the league and showed out, right? I'm going to tell you, there's one thing about the 40 that, I mean, it's great. Great 40 times are good. Don't get me wrong. I want a kid who could fly, but football speed is immeasurable. And if you go back and you watch that Texas game, the Texas game he played in, that we lost, that we shouldn't have lost. Don't even give me Spencer Rattler. I'm reliving some past hurt, but at this point, I'm saying to you, they came back and beat y'all like the last 3-4 minutes, didn't they? I forgot about that. That was a good game. One of the games of the year, though. Yeah, but guess what? Guess who made a play in that game?
I'm gonna guess Norwood if I use my contact clues.
That guy.
Yep.
That guy.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? He made a play. So definitely, I feel like he's gonna be a contributor. But I don't know who this punter is, but I see pictures of him.
Presley Harvin.
I see pictures of him.
He built like us. He built like us.
Yeah.
This guy should be on the line. I don't know why he's out here punting. You know what I mean?
He won the Ray Guy Award. He was the best punter in college.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he looked like that.
Yeah. Hey, but listen on. Go ahead, Kev. Go ahead.
I said, what is he? 6 foot 263, something like that?
Yeah. And listen, with the change in football, because we haven't even had a chance to talk about this. NFL is all about offense now, right? Field position and offense. And your 11 personnel and 12 personnel versus an opposing team's defense. Because I think there's at least 15 teams in the league that can get you for 35 to 40 points a game. So if we had a weapon like this guy that can pin you down, way down, he can pin you inside the 10, pin you inside the 15, and you got to go 85 or you got to go 75 to get some points. Hey, man, that's a bigger pickup than what a lot of people realize. So good luck, Ma. Good luck with that one for sure, man. I'm loving the punter. Loving it.
Yeah, man. So those are my takes as far as the best draft in the 2021 this year that we've had. And you guys, I love your takes too. Like I said, definitely spot on. Switching gears a little bit, man. Definitely we want to talk about the power rankings. And I think, those kind of working in unison and conjunction to each other. And we're going to talk about those here in a minute. But I want to ask, well, no, we'll get into it because definitely one of the teams that I want to talk about is in here. And if we look at the power rankings from the NFL, Tampa Bay Buccaneers is ranked number 1. What do you guys think about this as the power ranking? Because they're the champs, you think that's where this is? Or do you think it's something different? Did you agree or not agree?
I think the fact that they the champs, they bringing back all 22 starters, man. I mean, so if you the champs, you don't lose nobody. Yeah, I mean, you kind of got to come back next year at the top of the pile. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they got the GOAT playing quarterback, whose skills has not dissipated at all. The GOAT man is like, man, come on. So
I think it's interesting to me, right? I think it's interesting. The reason why I say it's interesting to me is I think Tom Brady and them jailed at the right time. You know what I mean? And there were injuries that because I heard Keyshawn Johnson say that to win the Super Bowl, you have to kind of be lucky. And I kind of agree with that on a little bit, because if you look at Kansas City, they was down a couple linemen. You know what I mean? Yeah. They were literally down a couple of linemen that hurt them, because if you give Mahomes time in the pocket, he's gonna kill you. He got two of the best out there that's running around, and you can't cover them. You can't cover Kelsey, and you can't cover Tyreek Hill. So being the fact that he didn't have anybody out there, I mean, I think honestly, I can't take nothing away from Tom Brady. He's the GOAT. But I really believe that they won't be able to do it again this year. I think that there are a lot of teams that got healthy. There's a lot of teams that helped themselves. But I would say that they are one of the favorites in the NFC.
And that speaks to why they're at the top of the power rankings. I mean, if you wanted the favorites and you defended and you got Tom Brady, I mean, all them things right there say, I mean, preseason, you got to put them at number 1. Now, they can be beat, and Kansas City retooled their entire offensive line. They drafted Creed Humphrey. They traded for Orlando Brown. The Kyle Long came out of retirement and signed with them. The guy that sat out last year because of COVID, Saint Tour. He's French. But
he's a doctor. He's a doctor.
Yeah, he's a doctor. Yeah. He was an all-pro. He coming back. That's 4 new starters on the line right there.
Right there. Yeah. Who know their craft. So you already jumped to number 2, right? You jumped to number 2, Tate, and that's a good take. Number 2 is the Kansas City Chiefs. And just like Tate just said, they signed Creed Humphrey from Oklahoma. They got him in the draft. Definitely then they went and signed Joe Thuney, Orlando Brown Jr., definitely. So they came in with a good draft, and they are, the AFC champions. All I can say about Kansas City is Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, that's all I need. I got an issue with Kansas City, man, and we're going to see. Because I don't think their 11 personnel scares anybody. I mean, I like you. Yeah, you got Kelsey. Yeah, you got Tyreek Hill. But if if I go over the top and I sit down on cover 2 defense, and those 2 guys get automatic double team, where is he going with the ball?
They got that one boy. What's the boy from Georgia?
Hardeman.
Hardeman. Hey,
Hardeman.
4-2 something also.
Oh, yeah. Oh, listen. The Kansas City wide receivers is definitely a 4x100 track team. Them boys could compete. Like, you could have the USA, and then you could have the Kansas City Chiefs, and the 4x1. Oh, they right there. They right there. But I just don't. Y'all know, man. You guys are football fans. Big time players make big time plays in big time games, right? Now, I don't know if this kid has got big time in him. You know, he's serviceable. But what you going to do after somebody sits down on enough film on you and you're week 12, week 13, and you're headed to the playoffs, man?
Sean,
you know,
Big G, you can't coach speed. And this guy's got speed to burn. Did you see last year when he dropped the pass, right? He dropped the pass and Mahomes told him to keep his head up. No, that was Tyreek Hill. But he dropped the pass. It was the same dude. He dropped the pass. He came back to him again, and the boy took it to the house for a long touchdown run.
That was against Buffalo. That was against Buffalo the first game. Yeah.
He got it in him. The youngster.
And then we talk about him being a third or fourth option. You hadn't even talked about the running back. What's his name? Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah, from LSU.
Who was hurt. Yeah. Again, he was hurt in the Super Bowl. Hurt, you know?
Yeah.
So
I don't know, man. I mean,
Kelsey, you talking about Hill, you talking about Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So Hardeman is, and then they got that dude Robinson. Them like
Wait a minute.
4 or 5 options.
Tate, let me ask you a question. Did y'all's old running back come back? Did he come back?
Who? Le'Veon Bell?
Did Le'Veon Bell come back to the Chiefs?
He's still a free agent.
He's still aged. Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, definitely but the Chiefs had a running back that came back from injury. I'm trying to remember his name.
Damian Williams.
He's back.
Yeah.
He's back. You know what I'm saying? So here's where it gets murky to me. The water gets kind of murky. The Buffalo Bills at number 3.
No way. Right now, this is where me and the NFL power rankings separate. And y'all go y'all way, I go my way. But there is absolutely no way in the world that the Buffalo Bills is the 3rd ranked NFL team right now. There's no way. There's no. Who you
got at number 3 then?
Man, the Cleveland Browns is number 3.
Okay. I'm not going to argue that.
The Cleveland Browns is number 3 right now, man. Number 3 to me. And and that's hard to swallow. That's hard to say. But the Cleveland Browns is number 3. There's no way that first of all, let me ask y'all a question. Who plays running back for the Buffalo Bills?
Singletary and the kid that drafted from Utah last year. What's his name?
I know you. I just can't call.
First of all, Big G, I see your point. I see your point about that. That's a glaring hole in Buffalo's game. It's a glaring hole, but you're smarter. You're longer in the tooth.
Yeah.
I mean, but I still don't agree with this in the power rankings. I don't agree with this at all. I don't agree with this. I think someone else can definitely be at 3 and 4. And the fourth option here is the Green Bay Packers.
No,
this team's in disarray, right? We don't know, and here's our sidebar. We don't know what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
We don't know. This is a trade. There are sources that say that he's never going to play for Green Bay ever again. And then there's people who said it was just a hoax. It was just the team was playing, it was to get you. And then you hear people saying, well, the leadership at Green Bay is doing everything they can to keep this man. It's a question mark for me. So
at that one, I wouldn't disagree with you, but you got to put an asterisk by it, because if Aaron Rodgers is there, then Green Bay always going to be in the mix if Aaron Rodgers is there. Now, maybe 4 is high in the power rankings. I could be inclined to agree. But if Aaron Rodgers there, they always top 10. I don't care who the rest of the team is.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, on a sidebar, and I hate to say this too, man, but if I'm the Cleveland Browns, listen, me and the Green Bay Packers have to have what I call a come to Jesus moment. Like, what do you want for Aaron Rodgers? I'm giving up. I'll give you Baker Mayfield. I'll give you my 1st and 2nd round pick next year, and I'll give you my pick the year after that. Give me Aaron Rodgers, because that seals the deal for the Browns. I don't care what nobody say. If you heard it here first on the KnoItAllz, if Aaron Rodgers goes to the Cleveland Browns, the Cleveland Browns are going to win the Super Bowl this season. You can bank on it. It's going to happen.
That's big talk. That's big talk, G. And Tate, I want to hear your thoughts on this. I would probably give up Odell.
I would definitely give up Odell.
Give up Odell for Aaron Rodgers. What you think about that whole Aaron Rodgers to Cleveland move?
I mean, I would agree with him. I mean, I would think Odell would need to be there just to put him in the Super Bowl like that. I mean, if you trade away Odell, they're still capable of going to the Super Bowl, but I mean, you know, Odell just takes it to another level with a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
I mean, think about it. They got better when Odell got hurt.
Yeah,
they got not because they were better from a player standpoint. They were better because it took pressure off Baker to force the ball to Odell, which is what he was doing. You know, I'm not there. Aaron Rodgers has the just as much. What's the word I'm looking for? You know, just as much status in the league as Odell does, probably more. So Aaron Rodgers wouldn't feel I need to get this guy the ball. Aaron Rodgers is going to throw it to open. He's going to make the right decisions. When Baker, the pressure went off when Odell went out. You know, I think he threw the second half of the season after Odell got hurt. Baker threw 19 touchdowns and 2 interceptions.
Yeah,
good stuff.
And that's because we've been spreading the ball around to everybody.
I was balling. Yeah. So what about number 5, you guys? Talk to me about number 5, the Baltimore Ravens. They're here at the power ranking. They previous number 5, they ain't went down yet. I mean, we talked about Tylan Wallace. We talked about Rashad Bateman. So he got some more targets out there. My question is that Baltimore defense. I wonder, have they taken some steps back? So I don't know if I would rank them that high. What you think, Tate?
I think the defense definitely is taking some steps back. I mean, they lost Judon. He was a number 1 pass rusher. They did draft a dude away, like Sean talked about earlier. But he's going to take some time to develop him. He's more of a physical talent than he is, production based right now. So it's going to take some time to develop him. But they lost Orlando Brown. They traded him. That hurts the run game. They picked up our dude from Pittsburgh,
Villanueva.
Yeah, and he's a pass blocker. You know what I mean? He's not a get grimy, get dirty kind of road raider. So and Lamar has taken another step in his development as a passer from the pocket to actually see what Baltimore is going to be this year. Now I like their talent from overall standpoint. They did take a step back on defense. I think they drafted did they draft a really good safety, Sean? Well, they drafted Sean Wade.
Yeah, and they got that quarterback Brandon Stevens from SMU, man. That's like he's a super athlete. He was one of the top 10 like freakish athletes at combine numbers, man. This guy ran like that.
And they drafted Hayes from Notre Dame, so he's a project. But these boys got a lot of potential on the edge with Oweh and David Hayes.
Yeah.
So, but I think 5 is a bit rich for my blood to answer the question.
Yeah, definitely. Me too. I just can't see it. I can't see it, man. I think the number 6 pick would have been better at number 5, which of course is the Cleveland Browns, and we've talked about Cleveland in depth. But then we have number 7. We got the Rams. This was interesting to me, right? This was really interesting to me because now you got Matthew Stafford, who is a really good quarterback. He's not the best. He's not a world changer to me, but he's a really solid quarterback. And you got some weapons with a solid defense still. This is a team that I really believe it can cause some trouble and cause some action. Only thing I think about is the run from the running back position. You lost Brown, which was your second. Brown is over there at Miami now. You have who was there still at their running back?
Cam Akers.
Cam Akers, he was a rookie last year from Florida.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's okay. He's not somebody that I'm gonna, bet the franchise on. You know what I'm saying? He's serviceable. He's gonna do all right, gonna get you maybe 50, 60 yards a game. I would like to see them have somebody who is going to be able to go out and get them 80 plus per game. And then that would make that team just more. I mean, because you slow the ball down. You can't, and Sean, Big G has said this a lot. The NFL now is all about offense, right? So in order for a team to really beat you, especially a high-powered offense, they'll slow the ball down. They'll take all the air out of it and run it down your throat. That's why I like Cleveland so much, right?
Yeah.
So that's why this number 7 with the Rams, I'm questionable on it, man. I'm questionable on it. What you think, Tate?
I don't think you're giving Cam Akers enough credit. I think Cam Akers is a nice feature back in the NFL. He can get you 75, 80 yards a game, I think, pretty easy. With that passing attack, they bring in what's their receiver's name? Woods and the other guy, what's his name?
Cooper Kupp. That's my guy. I take him every year.
And they picked up Deshaun Jackson. If he come back healthy, he gonna stretch the field. I think
Van Jefferson.
Van Jefferson from Florida last year, yeah. So I think the only potential problem with the Rams is because they pay so much money to their top end players. I think they might suffer at depth if somebody gets hurt.
Yeah. That's definitely the hit for the Rams. Because I think that Matt Stafford. I mean, you got to remember, Matt Stafford was like an NFL purgatory. He played. In the power rankings, the Detroit Lions is number 32, man. I mean, when was the last time Detroit was ever relevant? But Matt Stafford, they wouldn't even been in games without Stafford. And being here in Ohio, it's a shame, but like we get blocked out on games. It's like if the Browns and the Bengals ain't playing at the 1 o'clock game, they don't give us the Steelers. We got to watch the Detroit Lions. So I saw Stafford play a lot of games, man, and Stafford balls. Stafford balls, man. He's like, and I would love to see him now. First of all, with a better team and a better organization, but even more so, what I consider a top 5 head coach. Sean McVay, man, is a guru. As far as understanding basketball. I mean, understanding how to run basketball style playing football. He goes full speed, man. So I'm loving him, man.
Definitely, man. So we move on, man, and I'm gonna resist the temptation to talk about certain teams, like Seattle Supersonics. You got me thinking basketball. Seattle Seahawks. Definitely they still are contenders. I mean, Russell Wilson, they were able to hold on to him when there was a lot of trade talk there. I want to talk about this one. San Francisco 49ers. These guys were hurt all last year. This was another team. I talk about this and y'all think I didn't want y'all to think I'm a homer. And the people out there know I'm going to be real when it comes to my Cowboys. If we got it, we got it. If we don't, we don't. But San Francisco and the Cowboys were the most injury hurt team last year. Literally.
Mass units. Yeah, straight
everybody.
Mass units.
Everybody was hurt. So you think about with San Fran last year, you lost your top defensive lineman. You lost your top tight end. Quarterbacks was hurt. Your running backs was hurt. People were sitting out a year. There were people who sat out years for COVID. So this was a team that was decimated by injuries, and then now they get everybody back. So what do you think about this team, Tate? What do you think about them? They're interesting to me.
I think San Francisco is a well-coached team and a very talented team. I don't know in that division. I think they got no matter who plays, if Trey Lance plays, if Jimmy G plays, they got the 4th best quarterback in that division, period. So can you make the playoffs being the 4th best team in your division? So are we talking about them because they next in the power rankings?
They're next in the power rankings.
Oh,
they're number 9 in the power rankings.
Put them somewhere back in the high teens, like 17, 18, somewhere around there. I mean, you can't be 4th in your division and have the 4th best quarterback.
I got them ranked 15th in my power rankings, man. They like you said. I mean, this is stuff we've talked about off screen. when you start talking about quarterbacks in the division, your quarterback's got the potential to have you go 0-6, right? If you go 0-6 in your division, that means you're starting out the season, because there's 17 games, right? You're starting the season 11-6, right? You haven't played anybody else, and you're 11-6. So your quarterback, who the guy is playing quarterback, definitely determines where you're at. And there's no way San Fran is that high. There's just no way.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. Next team we have is the Saints. I just
way
I
down,
think,
man.
I don't think that they should be at 10.
I got them 20th. Who? Jameis Winston, and you got him ranked in the top 10? Come on, man. Yeah, Jameis Winston is your quarterback.
Oh, but you don't know you don't know who you're gonna get, man. You don't know if you're gonna get Jameis Winston that threw all them interceptions, or you're gonna get Jameis Winston of Tampa Bay, who was actually kind of good.
That threw all them touchdowns, just that guy.
Yeah. I mean, which one you gonna get?
I gotta believe a year. I gotta believe a year behind Drew Brees and Sean Payton in the system, and playing for another big contract. I mean, I got a feeling Jameis got to come back and play well. I still think 10 is a bit high for him, but they had the talent where they could definitely be in the top 15. I think 10 is a little bit high till we know what Jameis they gonna get.
Yeah, me too.
They too high, man. They're too high.
And then, so at 11, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think they should actually be at number 10, if you ask me. I think that was the round out the 10 for you, and for all of the reasons that I said earlier with the draft. And here's another one that Big G disagreed with me on tape, is the Tennessee Titans. He didn't like them at number 12. What do you think about that as far as the power rankings?
I would have to agree with Big G. I mean, I think he's going to see some regression. I mean, they lost. What's the receiver's name? Went to the Jets.
Corey
Davis.
Corey Davis.
They lost Corey Davis, and I can't exactly put my finger on exactly who else they lost. They lost a couple other players.
They lost Humphreys too, wide receiver.
So I think because I'm not a complete believer in Ryan Tannehill. So I think.
Man, come on, there you go.
Here's the deal about this, mate.
There you go.
Here's the deal, man. And this is what I told my brother. All he's done is on his big years, he's had 4,000, almost 5,000 yards passing, and a whole bunch of touchdowns with like 6 or 7 interceptions. Now, granted, he had a couple big years in Miami with Wallace and I forget the other wide receiver. So I mean, he's had that, and then last year he threw for 3,000, almost 4,000 yards. I mean, the guy has been serviceable, but you got Derrick Henry still. Derrick Henry.
Ryan Tannehill's eating off Derrick Henry's plate, for one. For two, they lost their offensive coordinator with the coach of the Atlanta Falcons, Arthur Smith.
There you go.
So, I mean, you got Vrabel, who's a defensive-minded coach. They was like in the bottom part of the league last year in sacks. Bringing Bud Dupree helped that, but the offense is going to see the regression this year because they don't have that play caller. They gonna load the box on Derrick Henry. They lost Corey Davis, and even though A.J. Brown is the best receiver between the two, I mean, Corey Davis was a high-end number 2.
Yeah.
So I really and they lost Jonnu Smith.
Yes.
Yeah.
I say this every year. Every year, there's 2 teams in both divisions, in the AFC and NFC, that were playoff teams or close to contention that take steps back. The Tennessee Titans, you guys will circle, asterisk, exclamation point, wrap the thing around it. Tennessee is taking steps backwards. I don't even know if they can even win their division. I would say maybe they're the second or third best team in their division now. So
Colts the best team. Colts should be ahead of them because they're the best in their division. And then you got Jacksonville's going to be better just by Urban Meyer and Trevor Lawrence being there. Now Houston's going to take a big slide down. Yeah.
So that's the next team. That's definitely the next team was the Colts, and we won't really dive into them. Of course, they got the addition of Carson Wentz, but you know how I feel about Carson Wentz. I think he is overrated. The next team I think should be higher in the 14 in the power rankings is the Miami Dolphins. I think the Miami Dolphins definitely should be a little bit higher. They have helped themselves on every end. Of course, they got Jalen Waddle in the draft, Will Fuller, but Will is suspended, I think, a couple games at the very beginning. Definitely Tua, I think they got Tua some help, and they're going to look better on the defensive side of the ball. The next team is Los Angeles Chargers. We'll resist that too. Of course, I mean,
Hey, that's my sneaky sleeper, though. That's my sneaky sleeper, man. The Chargers, man. Justin Herbert is the truth.
Yeah, but Sean, I hear that, right? I hear that, but I'm just gonna resist temptation. That's just sneaky. We're gonna go into that we'll touch it. We'll touch that again later on. The next team we're gonna get to, number 16 in the power rankings, is the Arizona Cardinals. Tate, what's your take on the Cardinals? Because you already know how I feel about them. But what's your take on the Cardinals?
I think the Cardinals going to be better. They was 8-8 last year. Yeah. So I think Kyler Murray, another year of development, is going to push to be a Pro Bowler. I like to pick up a J.J. Watt to go with that defense. I think AJ Green got a little bit left going to a new place and getting a fresh start.
Yeah, absolutely.
I still got to say though, they probably the third best team in that division though.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I don't know, Tate. G, give me yours on this, man.
Yeah, I mean, it really comes down to personnel, injuries, and quarterback play. I would give Kyler Murray the second best quarterback in that division. I go Russie number 1, Kyler Murray number 2, right? But the issue is going to be is who's going to be able to stop who. Sometimes when you play in divisions where everybody beats each other up, like the AFC North, it's a game of attrition. Who can last the longest without losing a key guy? So I like Arizona. I think they're a little low in the power rankings, but we'll see. It's to be continued.
So the fact they came up in the power rankings already and Seattle hasn't, you think Arizona's better than Seattle?
No, Seattle came up in the power rankings. They did.
Seattle's number 8. Seattle's number 8.
Seattle's number 8.
Just skip over?
Yeah,
you ain't give that boy Russ no respect, man.
Right, but listen, the Rams, Seattle, and the 49ers are 7, 8, and 9. And then they drop all the way to 16, and there's Arizona.
So the Rams, 49ers, and Seahawks, you said?
It goes Rams 7, Seahawks 8, 49ers 9.
And then the Browns, the Ravens, and the Steelers will 11. So both them, that's obviously the toughest divisions, the AFC North and the NFC West.
Yes.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you, the Rams and Seattle, definitely. I'll give you them. But I'm gonna be real with you. The Cardinals are better than the 49ers. They're better than the 49ers.
Because of quarterback play. Because
of quarterback play. And then, like I said, you got J.J. Watt, you got A.J. Green, you got trash James Conner who came over. But the biggest thing is you got Xavier Collins who plays linebacker right next to Isaiah Simmons.
Yeah.
That's big. That defense is going to be putting heads to bed this year. You know what I mean? Literally.
They lost Pat Peterson though.
They did.
They did. Pat Peterson.
Yeah, but they got the best. They might have the best safety in the NFL, and Buda Baker too, man. Buda Baker is one of the most underrated players in the NFL, man.
So, man, definitely for the sake of time, man, we just gonna skip through some of these. We're gonna talk about them. We got Minnesota at 17. We got the Patriots at 18.
Hold it. The Patriots is a top 10 power ranking team. I have the Patriots number 9 overall. Number 9, and they also had, to me, the 4th best draft. The Patriots are number 9 overall. If they get power play out of Cam, the evil empire has an opportunity to be back with holding up that trophy.
Sean, that's cap. I just want you to know I feel like that's cap. I don't agree with that. That's cap.
Hey, that's fine. That's fine.
That's cap. Tom Brady ain't over there wearing a Patriot jersey. That's cap. You know what I'm saying?
Top 10 is too much. They about where they need to be.
Yeah, that's cap. All right. So we got the Patriots at 18. We got the Bears at 19. The Bears are kind of scary. They lightweight scary. So and I think they still have some draft equity. I mean, some trade equity in Nick Foles. You know, because they can get off of Nick Foles or they can get off of Andy Dalton. They got Justin Fields, so they could kind of, you know, one of those two. And really, if you ask me, Nick Foles is going to be your starter. You know, Nick Foles should start, and then Justin Fields have a chance to start a little bit later in the year. What do you think about that, Tate?
You said Nick Foles should start.
Yeah, I mean,
you've been passing around the trash word a whole bunch of that today. Then you say Nick Foles should start. Nick Foles is trash.
Nick Foles starts over. So wait a minute, you're throwing Justin Fields to the dogs? You just gonna throw him out there?
They won.
It really depends on your train on how you think about it. I mean, some quarterbacks get put right out there. Some quarterbacks sit sometimes. But, I mean, I think Justin Fields is capable for the offense they run. And Nagy as a play caller and what he wants to do, you know, it gives a lot of leeway to the quarterback with a lot of naked bootlegs and rollouts. And Tariq Cohen to be back this year. You got Allen Johnson and, you know, a lot of good receivers over there. So, I mean, I think Justin Fields could – he wouldn't be worse than Andy Dalton or Nick Foles. So, I mean, it's like –
Agreed. Agreed. But he's your franchise. He's your franchise moving forward. So that's why I'm like, you know, don't throw him out there to the wolves first. I don't know if he's league ready, like right off the rip. I think, and I said this to Big G, and Big G will tell you that I said it. I think he starts mid-year. I think mid-year is his job. You know what I mean?
I don't think the Bears have an opportunity to let him sit. I mean, you know, these guys are going to get fired. You got to remember, this is the same coaching staff that drafted Mitch Trubisky a couple of years ago, right?
Traded up to get him.
Right. So, like, they don't have a year to where they can say, oh, we're developing Justin. Nah, it's go time. They have to be playoff competitive right now. So you can't wait. You got it. You know, either this kid can play or he can't. The good thing about Chicago is they have supportive defense. You know, so their defense is a top 5, top 6 defense. So, you know, it's not like Justin's going to be thrown to the wolves like that, you know.
Definitely. So at number 20, we got the Raiders. Wow.
Worst draft, hands down.
Agreed.
The worst draft.
Agreed.
And I'm laughing at them because it's one of the worst drafts. 21, they have my Cowboys. I think we could have been a little higher.
Way too low. Dallas should have been ranked in the top 13. Dallas is about number 12.
I believe so. We get healthy. Here's the thing. We get healthy. That's one. We get Dan Quinn in defense. That's two. We get our offense. And I'm gonna say this on live. It'll be on YouTube everywhere. Y'all can remember I said it. Zeke will be 1,400 yards Zeke again this year. Zeke will have 1,400 yards rushing. Mark my words. That offensive line is back healthy. And not only is the offensive line back healthy, I have not seen him this fast and this quick since he came into the league. Watch some of his highlights. If you see some of Zeke's highlights working out this year, him and Tony Pollard look really, really good. Go ahead, Tate.
I think Dallas is the best team in their division, but it's the worst division ever. At least it was last year. And I don't know. I think Zeke, even if Zeke is capable, I don't know if Dallas is committed to running the ball enough or running back to get 1,400 yards when you paying Dak $45 million. The offense is built around Dak now. 3-4 years ago, it's built around Zeke. It's built around Dak now, though. And you got CeeDee Lamb, and you paying Amari Cooper all that money, and you're gonna get this last year out of Gallup.
Still, you can't line up and throw the ball 45 times a game.
No, I agree with you.
You can't do that. You're gonna have to give Zeke. I see Zeke getting 15 for 85, 15 for 80 every game. I see it happening. happening.
85 yards a game. 85 yards a game is 1,400 yards because they play 17 this year.
And it's 17 games, and we'll get you there. Yeah. But I think the key to Dallas in any playoff run is maintenance with Zeke and maintaining, keeping them fresh for that long stretch. So you can run him 20 times a game and get his yardage, or you can run him 15 times a game and put Pollard in some, let Pollard get some of that work, and spread the ball around the short passing game, CD Lamb in the slot and stuff like that, and kind of save Zeke for that last month of the season going into the playoffs. Then you can feed the beast.
Yeah, and definitely, like I said, I think we got the best defensive player in the draft this year with Micah Parsons. I think we got the best defensive player, and it really makes us better at a position that we were really hurting in, and that's linebacker because, Leighton Vander was hurt all year. I mean, he's another Sean Lee. He's good when he's on the field, but, he can't stay on the field because he's hurt all the time. So definitely that strengthens the defense. And then when you look at what Dan Quinn did through the draft, he got these guys who resemble the defenses he put together in Seattle and Atlanta, these tall corners, who are 6'4", 6'3", 6'4", long arms. He likens his defense to a zone defense of Syracuse in basketball, because when you got kids who are out here who's super long and who could tackle in space, man, you make that defense a lot more potent.
I just read who was the defensive coordinator in Seattle before Dan Quinn took over, because I read that Dan Quinn was riding his coattails. That's how he got the job in Atlanta. And if you look at Atlanta's defensive rankings since Dan Quinn been there, they haven't been that good. So the thing is that Dan Quinn as a coordinator could be overrated.
I hear you. I hear what you're saying, but I don't believe that. I believe that, he's a solid defensive coordinator. I really do. I think that he's going to really turn that defense. We can't get no worse.
Can't get no worse.
We can't get no worse. We can't get no worse. I mean, it's the world's worst defense last year. I mean, me, you, and Sean could have had 100 yards between us against that defense last year. They couldn't stop the runner if for nothing, and everybody could pass. I mean, the worst game of the year was against Cleveland Browns, and I was embarrassed. I wanted to go take a paper sack and put it over my face. It was bad. It was bad. It was definitely bad.
Plus, didn't it?
Yeah, Odell Beckham looked like the greatest receiver of all time versus Dallas, man. So
horrible, man, horrible. And then at 22, you got the Giants. At 23, you have Atlanta Falcons. 24, I'm gonna stop here for a second, and then we're gonna get through the rest. Washington football team.
Quarterback away.
Quarterback away.
From truly competing.
Quarterback away. That defense is strong, bro. Yeah, that defense is very strong.
And they got stronger.
Great draft.
William Jackson in free agency. They picked up the boy from Kentucky, Jamin
Davis.
For play the middle linebacker behind that stout line.
Yeah.
I just don't believe in Ryan Fitzpatrick. I mean, he got the luck of the Irish at some point, and then he'll just turn around and just do some bonehead stuff, man. It's like
their skill spots is tight too, man. Curtis Samuel, McLaurin, Logan Thomas. They got some pieces, and I agree. Quarterback, man, is the pivotal.
And it's what we said.
They get a quarterback that can win.
It's what we said, G, and it's what Tate said. A little bit of this, just to interject. Tate said that we have the best team. The Cowboys have the best team in the NFC, but it's only because when you take offense and compare it to defense, I do believe Dallas's offense is better than Washington's defense, and that's the only thing that and that's strength on strength. Strength on strength. So if you take strength on strength, that's how I say the Cowboys would be the better better team out of the two, but Washington's right there. Washington's offense is questionable. It's questionable.
Do Dallas defense make Fitzpatrick look like Fitzmagic though? Because as one side is strength on strength, the other side is weakness on weakness.
Yeah,
and if Fitzpatrick gets hot, we'll see.
But I think Dallas could go 6-0 in the division. But Ahmad doesn't agree. He always says they go 4-2, but I really do believe the Cowboys could pull it.
They won't go 6-0.
No, I'm gonna tell you like this: we sweep the Eagles this year. That's happening. We split with the Washington football team, and we split with the Giants. It's always going to be a split in there somewhere, but we're sweeping somebody. And I think the worst team in that division right now is the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going to say it like it is. And they're the next team after us.
To tell you the truth, as far as that division goes, I got behind Dak, I got the most confidence at quarterback position is Jalen Hurts. Behind Dak in that division.
Yeah. Better than Daniel Jones. Better than Daniel Jones.
You think he's better than Daniel Jones?
Yeah. Jalen just needed pieces, man. I mean, you got to remember, they built a team around Wentz and then threw everybody to the garbage and then started cleaning out and putting new skill positions. Jalen with an outside skull piece of a team last year was very competitive.
You got to look at it. As we're going to talk about Philly, I'll let you keep going, but I got a comment on Philly, though.
No, we're not going to talk about it, but go ahead, get it out.
But look, so you got two tight ends. You got Ertz and the Dallas Goedert. They got Miles Sanders going to be healthy.
Yeah.
They picked up the boy from Detroit, Kerryon Johnson. So he's a second back now. Yep. And you drafted Devontae Smith, and you got what's his name, Brandon Ayuk at the other receiver.
Yeah, so, Whiteside. They got Whiteside too.
Yeah, from Stanford.
Yeah.
So, and they picked up Landon Dickerson. If he stay healthy, he going to anchor that line. That offense, just with what Jalen's capable of doing, that offense could be nice. Second best quarterback in the NFC East.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
So we're gonna put a pin in that and return back to that next week because definitely that's something we're gonna have to take about. When we start breaking divisions down, we're gonna have to talk about that one. At number 26, we got Denver Broncos, which they should definitely be lower. 27, we have the Jets. 28, we have Carolina, and I'm going to stop right here. These two teams I want to talk about, Carolina and Cincinnati, real quick. The reason why I want to talk about Carolina is I believe that they helped themselves. I believe they should be higher. I don't think that Sam Darnold is a bad quarterback. I just think that he has not had any help. You put Sam Darnold down here and you get him a little bit of help. This may be a pretty good Carolina team. What do you think, Tate?
I think Sam Darnold is not as bad as the Jets culture made him. That's rough playing for the New York Jets. So you get Sam Darnold down there. They got Christian McCaffrey coming back healthy. They got I like the play caller, Joe. Was at LSU with Burrow? What's his name? Joe something.
Hardy.
Joe Hardy. Joe Hardy. It ain't Joe Hardy, man. No, it ain't.
Yeah.
No, check that out. Fact check that. I know who you're talking about. I just can't call his name. I really think Carolina is going to be a better team than they was last year. Me too. And then, getting back, once we find his name, you guys will say it. Last thing, Cincinnati Bengals. Gotta talk about Cincinnati Bengals. I think that
Joe Brady.
Yeah.
Listen, I think that they should have went offensive tackle. I really do in the draft, but they definitely got Joe Burrow some help.
They got Joe Burrow's boy.
They got him some help. Help. You got Jamar Chase, and literally, I think Jamar Chase is really going to help them. But still, you would like to see him get an offensive line, an offensive lineman that's going to help him and protect his blind side. I know they picked up somebody later in the draft, but we'll definitely explore them when we get into each division that we talk about. And then we have the Jacksonville Jaguars. We talked about them earlier with, their draft and the things that they picked up. And then now we got the lowest of the low, the Houston Texans. Of course, I mean, nobody knows who and what they're going to be this year at all, because of what's happening with Deshaun Watson. And really, that's another story for next week. We're definitely going to dive into that. I'm just going to say it. I mean, these are professional athletes, and you got professional athletes playing with a whole bunch of money, and you got people who got feelings. I really think the situation is sad and tragic, but at the same time, the Houston Texans need to take a look at themselves as an organization. You've traded off one of the best talents at wide receiver that you could ever have. You traded him off for nothing. You lost J.J. Watt. And then when it came time to lose Deshaun Watson, you put it's just a whole bunch. We don't want to go into it. I'm not going to unhash it, but
they traded away Laramie Tunsil too. Their number one tackle. That was Deshaun Watson's only protection.
Yeah.
Makes no sense. No sense. And
well, for the longest, they had your boy who was the coach. The guy who's coached Penn State. He was in charge of stuff.
Oh my gosh.
He's the OC now. I mean, he's back with the Patriots. I just can't call his name. I can see it. O'Brien, was that his last name? O'Brien.
Bill O'Brien. Yeah.
He sabotaged everything.
Yeah.
He sabotaged the whole franchise.
And you know who was somebody that I listened to? The receiver that used to play for Andre Johnson. Andre Johnson was saying a lot about that whole Deshaun Watson thing, and he was saying, man, take it from somebody who's been in the organization. Deshaun Watson's not doing wrong, and literally by wanting out of Houston, he's not doing wrong. He knows the culture. He knows what's happening. But, he's still, a part of that organization because, hey, they paid him. It was what it was. The last team here is the Detroit Lions. Woo.
I don't agree. I don't agree for this fact is that they're not the NFC Central is not the worst division in football. So if the NFC Central is not the worst division in football, how can the worst team be not from the worst division?
Because they got to win the least amount of games.
No, I don't see it, man. I don't see it.
You know what? They made a terrible coaching hire. So, the Dan Campbell. I mean, they going in the wrong direction anyway. I mean,
I can see them getting 5. I can see them getting 5 wins, 5 or 6 wins. I can see it. I can see a legitimate 5 or 6 wins on their schedule. They're strict. I mean, that's for the next show. When we start talking about strength of schedule, when the actual schedule comes out. But strength of schedule, they're going to get 5, 6 wins. We're going to definitely have a 2-win or 3-win team in the NFL. And, that'll be what we talk about next week because I see some teams that's going to take a big steps backwards. But that's just me,
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So you guys, man, this is the first KnoItAllz podcast that we've had, man, where we discuss everything about the sports world, and we're definitely into it, talking about football. We love it. I thank you guys for actually tuning in with us and hanging out with us on this Mother's Day weekend. Definitely, if you like what you're seeing, make sure you like and share. For myself, Maud, for Big G, and my man Tate, we out of here, and we'll catch up with you next week. Peace.